Imagine sending a confidential letter across the world, but instead of sealing the envelope, you leave it wide open. Anyone can read it, copy it, or even change it. That's exactly what happens online when cybersecurity protocols aren't in place. Every time you open a website, send an email, log into an app, or connect to Wi-Fi, protocols decide whether your data stays private or gets exposed. In reality, many of the biggest data breaches didn't happen because hackers were brilliant, but because basic security protocols were weak, outdated, or misconfigured. By the end of this video, you'll clearly understand the most important cybersecurity protocols, what they do, and why they matter in the real world. To make this simple and memorable, let's group cybersecurity protocols into 6 buckets. First, network security protocols that protect data as it moves across networks. Second, web and application protocols that secure websites and apps. Third, email security protocols that protect against spoofing and phishing. Fourth, authentication and identity protocols that verify who you are. Fifth, wireless security protocols for Wi-Fi and public networks. And finally, file and data transfer protocols that secure how files move between systems. Once you see these categories, the entire cybersecurity landscape starts making sense. Let's start with the backbone of internet security, network protocols. SSL and TLS are what encrypt data when it travels from your browser to a server. Whenever you see HTTPS in a website URL, TLS is working behind the scenes, making sure no one can intercept or modify the data. IPsec is another powerful protocol used to secure VPN connections and internal corporate networks by encrypting traffic at the network level. Then there's SSH, which allows secure remote access to servers. Without SSH, administrators would be sending passwords and commands in plain text. A single misconfigured SSH server has been responsible for countless breaches. Now let's talk about protocols you use every day, often without realizing it. The web and application security protocols. HTTPS ensures secure communication between your browser and web applications. OAuth 2.0 is what allows you to log into apps using Google, LinkedIn, or GitHub without sharing your password. OpenID Connect builds on OAuth by adding identity verification, making sure the app actually knows who you are. These protocols reduce password reuse and limit damage if a service gets compromised. Next, let's understand email security protocols. As email remains the #1 attack vector, which is why these protocols are critical. SPF defines which mail servers are allowed to send emails on behalf of a domain, helping receiving mail servers verify whether an email is coming from a legitimate source or an impersonator. When SPF is missing or misconfigured, attackers can easily spoof trusted domains. DKIM adds a cryptographic signature to every outgoing email, allowing the receiving server to verify that the message hasn't been altered in transit. This ensures the integrity of the email content and builds trust between sending and receiving mail servers. DMARC ties everything together by telling email providers what action to take if SPF or DKIM checks fail, whether to allow the email, send it to spam, or block it entirely. It also provides visibility through reports, helping organizations monitor and improve their email security posture over time. Even today, phishing succeeds not because these protocols don't exist, but because many domains still haven't configured them correctly. Next up, we have authentication and identity protocols, in which identity becomes the new security perimeter. Kerberos is widely used in enterprise environments to authenticate users without repeatedly sending passwords over the network. Instead, it relies on time-based tickets issued by a trusted authority, which significantly reduces the risk of password theft and replay attacks. This makes Kerberos especially effective in large corporate networks where users access multiple internal services throughout the day. SAML enables single sign-on by allowing employees to authenticate once and then securely access multiple systems, applications, and cloud services without logging in again. It is commonly used in enterprise identity providers and SaaS platforms, improving both security and user experience by reducing password fatigue and centralizing access control. On top of that, multi-factor authentication protocols, MFA, add extra layers like OTPs or biometrics. So, even if a password is compromised, MFA can stop an attacker cold. Next up, I'd also like to mention that wireless security has evolved rapidly. WEP was one of the earliest Wi-Fi security protocols and is now completely broken. WPA3 improved security significantly by introducing stronger encryption mechanisms compared to earlier standards, and for many years it became the default choice for securing home and enterprise Wi-Fi networks. However, as attack techniques evolved, WPA3 emerged as the current standard, offering even stronger encryption, better protection against brute force and password guessing attacks, and improved security for devices connecting to public or shared wireless networks. This is exactly why public Wi-Fi remains risky. When encryption is weak, outdated, or missing altogether, attackers on the same network can quietly intercept traffic, steal credentials, and monitor sensitive activity without the user ever realizing it. Up next, we have file transfer protocols, which are often overlooked but incredibly dangerous when misused. FTP sends data in plain text, including usernames and passwords, which means anyone monitoring the network can easily capture sensitive information during a transfer. This makes FTP especially dangerous on shared networks or over the public internet, where attackers are often actively listening. SFTP and FTPS fix this by encrypting file transfers using secure channels, ensuring that both credentials and file contents remain protected in transit. By adding strong encryption and authentication, these protocols make secure file exchange possible, even across untrusted networks. The rule is simple. If a file transfer protocol doesn't encrypt data, it shouldn't be used in modern systems. That being said, there are a few modern security protocols you must know. Why? Because modern security actually goes beyond traditional perimeter defenses, where everything inside the network was automatically considered safe. Zero Trust architecture completely flips this mindset by assuming that no user, device, or application should be trusted by default, even if it is already inside the network. Every access request must be continuously verified based on identity, context, and behavior. Mutual TLS takes this a step further by ensuring that both the client and the server authenticate each other before any data is exchanged, eliminating the risk of impersonation or man-in-the-middle attacks. Token-based authentication using JWTs allows systems to verify access securely and efficiently without repeatedly checking usernames and passwords, which improves both security and performance. Together, these modern protocols reflect today's reality where users work remotely, devices connect from anywhere, cloud services talk to each other constantly, and the traditional network boundary no longer exists. But hey, how to choose the right protocol? Well, overall, choosing the right protocol depends on context. Is the system internal or public-facing? Are humans accessing it or machines? Are compliance requirements driving security, or is it risk-based? Answering these questions helps you select protocols that balance security, performance, and usability. Lastly, I'd say that cybersecurity protocols don't secure systems on their own. Their implementation does. Understanding them is the first step toward building safer digital products and organizations. A common mistake is assuming security is a one-time setup rather than an ongoing process. Protocols must be continuously reviewed, updated, and tested. So be sure to not make it yourself. If this video helped clarify things, don't forget to like it and subscribe to us for more updates. And feel free to share this video with someone who might need it. All the best and see you in the next video.